Perfect. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there with us as we figured this out. To begin with, I'm going to turn it over to our representative from the Williamsville School District.
Tanya, thank you so much, and thank you to all who's joining us this evening. My name is John D'Angelo. I'm the coordinator of special education in the Williamsville Central School District, and I'm very pleased to be a part of this evening's presentation, and would like to start off by thanking first our community members and families who are participating this evening. The Williamsville Central School District is committed to facilitating access and information regarding adult supports that are available and services that are available to our young adults entering the adult world. And I hope that you find this evening's information informative and useful. I'd also like to thank Ms. Tanya Weishman and for your participation in Parent Network of Western New York. Facilitating this agency fair and the information provided tonight is very informative information to our community. And again, thank you for your partnership. I'd also like to thank the Williamsville Special Education Parent Teacher Student Association, or SEPSA. They also partnered with us regarding this, provided some good information on their Twitter accounts and blasting out information and getting the word out. So thank you very much for supporting this evening's activity. And I'd also like to thank sincerely and a job well done to our Williamsville Central School District transition team who are part of our participants here tonight. Ms. Courtney Cox, Ms. Cheryl Danny, Ms. Kathy Lehman, Ms. Melissa Miller. Your heart and effort and support of the planning and preparation of this evening is highly appreciated, and just again demonstrates the commitment that our folks have to our young adults, to our families within our community. And I'd also like to thank our agency participants this evening. The programs and services that you folks provide to our community from our agency providers really adds to the richness of lives and access to greater opportunities for our community members. So I just want to sincerely, again, thank all those that are participating this evening. And we look forward as a district to continue to provide information and facilitate information to our families, to the community for their considerations when their children, when young adults do enter the adult world, and providing access and resource. So thank you again. I'm very proud to be a part of this evening's activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Up here. Thank you all for joining us. Did the presentation come back up?
Yes.
Okay. So we're here tonight to talk about some of the services and programs that different community agencies provide, but we have a few housekeeping things we would like to go over first. For those of you that aren't that familiar with Zoom, this is just kind of a quick picture of down on the bottom. You have all these different things that you can click on. You can mute and unmute yourself. You could turn your video on, turn your video off. This gives you a list of the names of the participants that are here. Please don't hit share your screen unless you're one of the panelists. But here is the chat box, which I think is one of the most important things as we're going through all the different organizations. This is where you can type in any general questions that you have that you would like answered, or if there's something that you need clarified, feel free to type in that chat box. We do have monitors who are reading the chat box, so they will be able to either answer that question for you, or they will ask that question to the presenter. A couple other housekeeping things when it comes to virtual meetings and conversations like this. I've heard mixed answers. You were supposed to click something when you first sign in, letting you know that this is being recorded. So I just want to remind everyone that you are being recorded. So if you type something, you're on there, so it's up to you whether or not you want to use your video camera. So just a quick reminder there for everyone. We ask that everyone does stay muted because background noise really does affect the ability to hear from everyone else. If you do turn your camera off, people often say that because of the bandwidth that is used to virtually have a meeting, your connectivity, it'll be a little bit better for you to see. And we already talked about the chat box. So one of the first things that Parent Network that we always like to speak about is this notion of entitlement versus eligibility. When you are in school and your child is getting special education services, a lot of times there's a lot of rules and regulations in place that there's a lot of entitlements. There's a lot of things the schools are supposed to be doing and providing before you even ask for them. When we start to get ready to transition out into the adult world, or we're looking at services outside of school, they become an eligibility process. That becomes, you know, getting diagnosis, potentially having assessments to gauge different needs and strengths and weaknesses. So for some families, it's kind of a shock because they've been used to school and how school has been handling the situations. And then suddenly they go out into this other side where there's, you know, documentation and there's follow-up and there's timelines and different things like that. So just kind of keeping that in mind. I am a firm believer that we have 4 pockets to our lives: live, learn, work, and play. And at different times and different ages in our life, some of these pockets are bigger than others. But as you're listening to the organizations today, I'm encouraging you to keep your child in mind, your young adult in mind. And once school is no longer there, where can you fill these pockets? Where can you find those services or those programs that can fill their day with activities? We always encourage as much as possible that that individual is part of their process. One, that helps the other individuals around the table become familiar with that individual. That individual becomes familiar with, you know, that team that's sitting there that's making decisions about them. And also, you know, nothing about me without me. This is their life. They should be part of it, and they should participate to the best of their ability. So we're going to fast forward a little bit because tonight's focus really is about the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities and the services that they provide. And then our community agencies are going to talk about their programs. So for a lot of them, most of them, you need to have OPWDD eligibility. And these are some of the different services, different areas. If you kind of look, that's, you know, pretty much right up the line of the live, learn, work, and play. So they have different supports across the board. I'm going to take just a couple minutes to talk about the different types of services. All of the community agencies that are on here, most of them provide programs under these services. So I just want to give a quick reminder to some individuals about what these services are. So as the agencies are speaking, you can kind of keep in mind their programs and keep track if that is an organization that you'd like to reach out to learn a little bit more about. So one of the first ones is community pre-vocation, and this is preparing individuals for paid employment. So you see this a lot for the individuals. They have some work skills, they have that potential, but they still need a little more time to develop those skills, for those skills to emerge. There is the pathway to employment. And this is, you know, exactly what it sounds like. This is getting those individuals ready with those skills that they need in order to be an employee and be out in the workforce. The employment training program, this is where we start getting into, if you'll see on the bottom, it's where they have work opportunities where their wages are actually paid by OPWDD. And this is a way for that individual to develop the skills, understand the tasks that they have to do, and ultimately the goal is that that business would take on that individual as an employee once some of that training and support was put in place. Supported employment, I'm sure some of you have heard, you know, there's job coaching, job developing. Some individuals will be able to work, but they may need some type of lifelong support. They may always need a job coach checking in with them, or, you know, they may need help finding that employment. And when we've reached supported employment, then we are at competitive integrated employment, just like you and I out in the workforce doing our job and getting paid for what we do. Another service that some individuals may need that can help not just develop work skills, but independent skills. Whether the goal is someday to live on their own or to be able to get to work back and forth by themselves. So you'll see on there, there's some examples of some of the activities that someone who does have community hab may be able to take advantage of. Again, it's all around goals. What is that individual's goal? What do they want to do? And what are those steps that we need to put in place so that they can achieve that goal? There's also assistive technology for any of you whose child currently in school is using some type of assistive device. I encourage you to determine if that is a school device or if that is something that they would take with them when they graduate. Each district does this differently. Some families will get the device through their OPWDD eligibility, and then they know once that individual does leave school that that technology will go with them. So just want to encourage, it's one of those things sometimes that we forget to think about, but OPWDD does have the capability, if it's found that it's needed, to provide different technology for individuals to help them be more independent and successful in their own home and in the community. Dayhabilitation, this is a service that, as most of you will know, this tends to be the one that has the longest wait list. But these are for individuals that still need to continue most of those basic skills, or they need to improve on the self-help, the socialization, all of those type of skills. But it is also a service that most of the agencies do provide. A few tips for parents as they're going through this, as you know, be engaged in the process. It's a lot. And a lot of times we get used to having that help and support from school personnel, telling us what they recommend to help, make those connections. And once school ends, or if we're looking at services outside of school, it does fall on the family to lead that process along with the care coordinator or care manager. Get information as early as possible. It's never too young. Even though they're in school, if they're younger, there may not be a lot of services right now that are needed or that individual could access, but it's always great to at least have knowledge of the system. These past couple months have shown us nothing. It has shown us that things may not always work the way we think they should work. So stay informed know what's going on within the OPWDD world, so you can have a plan. You can kind of figure out what that is. Use each other. I'm sure you know someone who knows someone who knows someone that has been through this, that has worked through it. You are each other's best resource and best advocates. And then hopefully, use that resource list we gave you. Reach out, make contact, ask questions. And of course, always have some backup plans. Always have a plan B, just because you never know what plan A is going to look like. And always ask a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions so that you have the most current, up-to-date information. I'm seeing a few in the chat box asking about the PowerPoint. Yep. At the end of this, you will actually, within the next day or two, you will receive a link for a survey, and I can make sure that the PowerPoint is attached to that for anyone that would like it. All right. Perfect. So at this point, I would ask that Libby from Prime Care, if you could do your presentation.
Okay. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Libby Bentley. I'm the Student and Family Education Specialist for Prime Care Coordination. Prime Care Coordination is one of 2 care coordination organizations that are in your area. This is our mission and our vision. I think the most important thing to highlight on this page is that our brand essence is getting results by taking the time to care. We really want to meet families where they are and help them get to where they want to be. We are in 39 different counties across New York State, and we have 5 different regions, which are separated for you up there. You guys are in what's considered Western New York region. I'm not going to go too much into this in regards to eligibility, just because I believe that most of you have already been connected to services. But if you do have any questions, there is a referral line at the end of the presentation that you can call and ask your questions, or during the presentation, I will also provide my contact information, which you're more than welcome to contact me if you have any questions. So Tanya did a really great job of going over all of the different services that are available, so I don't need to touch there. A couple things that are unique to Prime Care Coordination is my position, which is the Student and Family Education Specialist, and I help assist families with navigating the special education process. And we also have the Benefits and Entitlements Access Coordinator, and I will explain his position a little bit further into the presentation. So my position, the Student and Family Education Specialist, I am here to help explain IEPs, answer any questions or concerns that families have regarding services in their school districts, as well as I can attend CSE or CPSE meetings with families. I also act as an add-on service at transition time, so I can attend transition meetings as well. We also help educate different community agencies and school districts about care coordination. That is my contact information. Feel free to email me or call me anytime. Some frequently asked questions about my position, which this also applies to the Benefits and Entitlements Access Coordinator position, is when can a person or a family start utilizing the support of one of our positions? And they can be utilized immediately upon referral. So at the end of the presentation, I will provide the referral line number. And as soon as you connect with our enrollment department, you do not need to be fully eligible for you to access my services. So that becomes very, very helpful for families that either are kind of at the end of transition, getting ready to exit high school, and they need some support with the transition planning. It also is very helpful for families that may be having some concerns at school and want an educational advocate, but are still going through the eligibility process. Does this service cost anything to the families? No, it's a complimentary service. Prime Care saw that there was a need in helping families with educational advocacy, and they're providing this service to families that are connected with Prime Care. Is there a waiting list for service? No. You have my contact information. Care managers have my contact information. School districts have my contact information, and anyone can contact me at any time. So our benefits and entitlements access coordinator, basically they are our resource in navigating private insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, SSI, SSD, spend downs, buy-ins, all of that stuff. So again, he is available for you to just ask questions or if you need any assistance with any of those things. We have individual and family advisory boards, which are made up of individual family members and caregivers that are served by Prime Care Coordination, and we have them in each of the different regions. And these boards basically are there to help give feedback to Prime Care Coordination. They review and make recommendations for policies and procedures, and review quality outcomes and provide guidance to the organization in regards to quality improvement opportunities and that sort of thing. At Prime Care, we use a weighted caseload system just to make sure that the caseloads are balanced and manageable. And also we added an additional role of care manager assistant to help support the care manager and their caseload. We also have a clinical team. Tasha Hemi is our director of clinical supports. And in your area, Katie Zale is our behavioral health person, and Nicole Maldonado is our RN that helps with medical concerns. And they're there to support care managers, individuals, and families. And we have a clinical team in each of the different regions, and they complete clinical reviews as needed to add additional levels of perspective, support, and expertise. It's very important for the schools and families and the care coordination organization to work together. So we really recommend that the school know who the care coordination organization and care manager is, as well as the care manager and care coordination organization being invited to the transition meetings and that sort of thing, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So, if you are interested in enrolling, all you have to do is call our enrollment line, which I will have at the end of this presentation. And basically, our enrollment team, you are assigned an enrollment coordinator, and they walk you through the process of enrollment, eligibility, Medicaid, getting the documents you need, completing the paperwork, all of that. So these are the different referral line numbers that we have, and you guys are in Western New York, so that number is up there for you. And that's it. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you very much, Libby. All right, so next we have Alan from Person-Centered Services.
Hi, good to see everybody. Thank you, Tanya, for facilitating, and thank you to Williamsville for hosting. My name is Alan Vineski, Community Relations Manager for Person-Centered Services. My role is to support school districts, government agencies, and healthcare providers to the 8 westernmost counties in Western New York. And I'm going to share my screen, just have like a short 2-minute video I'm going to put up for you guys, and then a few slides.
At Person-Centered Services, we're all about serving people. Our care coordinators provide comprehensive care management for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
The mission of Person-Centered Services is to connect people to the care, support, and opportunities that maximize their quality of life.
My goal as a care coordinator is to help families navigate the difficult system that is finding resources and services for their loved ones with disabilities.
Care coordinators create a life plan for each person and then change and adapt that life plan as new goals and needs occur.
The life plan is all about you, including disability-related supports and other important services, such as medical, dental, job assistance, transportation, and much, much more. Everything you need for you and your family to thrive.
At the heart of Person-Centered Services are our connections, expertise, and leadership. Our care coordinators have an average of 10 years of experience in the field. They're the experts you want to help you navigate a complex system.
It's been very helpful for us to be able to have somebody that really can, know what the different options are in the community, the different kinds of services that are available.
When you have a question or any kind of concern, well, you're going to call your coordinator. This is the first thing that comes to mind.
People can look to us when they don't know what resources are out there and they don't know what they can do to help their loved one.
My coordinator, Danielle, she is a good support for me.
Person-Centered Services is owned by 31 developmental disability agencies. We have offices throughout our 18-county region where our care coordinators live and work. So we know you, we know your community, and we can link you to resources that will make a difference in your life.
Basically, if you get to us at Person-Centered Services, we can help you in many ways.
Person-Centered Services will guide you, support you, and connect you to your best life.
We look forward to seeing what we can do for you together.
All right, so like Tanya said, she shared what the OPWDD waiver services are, and care coordination is a necessary component to access those services. Again, we're owned by 31 of the local Western New York developmental disability provider agencies, but we work with everybody. We have contracts we work with all providers. We realize that every individual is unique, and we want to help meet the needs of each person that we serve. Things are a little bit different right now. Obviously, we're in this state of emergency, and just since the start of COVID, so I just wanted to share, since the start of COVID, on our website, we've been compiling daily emergency COVID resources. We put news and updates up there daily or weekly. We've been hosting weekly coping webinars through our clinical services team, and so you can access those. And if you are already linked to care coordination, make sure you know who your care coordinator is and who their supervisor is. So there's a number on there where you can find that information if you don't have it. If you're a teacher and you're on here and you need to know who your students' care coordinators are, you're not sure, you can call that 888 number. And then, of course, to get started, you can contact our 855 number or intake at Person-Centered Services. And then I put my contact information up there as well. So if you ever have any questions, if I can help, you're welcome to call or email me, and I appreciate your time. Thanks. If you have any questions, just for the sake of time, if you want to just put it in the chat box, Tanya can get it to me and I'll make sure to follow up with you guys so that we can respect everybody's time.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Thanks.
Next, and again, we are moderating the chat box, so feel free to put any questions you have in there. Next, if we could have Christy Edwards from the ARC Erie, that would be great.
You're muted, Christy.
Is Christy there?
She's muted, Tanya. Can you unmute her?
Yeah, let me look for.
Christy, make sure you have a full screen and you'll see that little mic in the bottom left.
Tonya, you're the host, so you can send her an unmute and we'll pop up a box.
I am trying and it is not working, so that must mean it's not on my end.
Oh, you just unmuted yourself. Like you were live there for a second.
She doesn't even have a microphone. It's a phone, no phone.
Oh, it's a phone.
In the video.
Oh.
Now it's just video.
She's coming. Connecting to audio.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Great. Sorry, I connect with my phone and it got a little funky. I apologize.
Okay.
So I'm Christy. I'm from the Arc Erie County. I will share my screen here in just a second. All right. Can everybody see that? Great. So let's start. So Arc Erie County, we have a whole variety of services for transitioning students. We have from the most supportive all the way through the continuum of services to the most independent. So the services that we're really going to talk about today are really the ones that are the OPWDD waiver services like Tanya mentioned. So here is the full continuum. You can see we have DayHab, and we break that into two different paths, as well as community pre-voc, pathway to employment, and supported employment. The nice thing about our agency is that if you start in one service and you want to transition to something else, you can do that a lot more seamlessly because we have it all in-house. So we'll start with site-based DayHab. That is our most supportive service. We have 3 locations, Buffalo, Hamburg, and Williamsville. The nice thing about this all of these locations is that we have an Article 16 clinic with OT, PT, and speech services available on site. Anybody that needs daytime medications, we can dispense those. We do have nursing supports available as well. With it being DayHab, we can support all types of activities of daily living. If somebody needs a little bit of assistance with toileting or meal times, we can absolutely assist there. And another fun thing that we have going on is we have an art specialist, a music therapist, a culinary group that are all within our program. For transportation, I know that's a big question. We do some of our own transportation, but we also contract with a van service as well. At this point, we are unfortunately not doing tours of any of our services, but hopefully when COVID lifts, we'll be doing those quite quickly. We are accepting referrals, so if somebody is interested, we can accept referrals at this point. And we'll talk a little bit about the referrals near the end. This is just a picture of one of our culinary groups. And I said we have music. We do link with the BPO, and we've gone there quite frequently and taken different music classes. And this is one of our art groups that we also have. DayHab Without Walls is our next service. This service is obviously in the community because it's without walls. So we're really focusing on community integration, and we have a variety of hubs for this program throughout the area. Again, Buffalo, Hamburg, and Williamsville. With this program, we cannot dispense daytime medications, but we can do some assistance with activities of daily living. We do have to keep in mind that these groups are on the go all day long. So we want people that are a little bit more interested in being out in the community and being active. Do a lot of volunteer work. We use a lot of senior centers, very active in the community through all age groups from, students that are transitioning all the way to our seniors. We've done the Salvation Army, collecting at the holidays. We go to the food bank and pack boxes there. And we go to SABA in the winter and during their sport turf time. Community Prevocational is one of our employment services. It's a nice service because it's a smaller ratio, 1 to 8. And we're working on a lot of soft skills. So supervision in the community, we can work on getting people a little bit more independent. It's a little bit more challenging in this setting to assist with those ADL skills like toileting and meal times. We're really looking for somebody that's a little bit more independent. We can't administer daytime medications here. Transportation, we typically want the person to use what supports they have. So if they can use the Metro bus, if they can use paratransit, mobility training, we can do that as well. But as a final option, we can look at contracted van services. This service is really great for somebody who's not quite ready for that supported employment piece, being out in the community in an independent placement, working on those soft skills, behavior expectations in the workplace. And we really want them to explore employment on a general level. We have a newer group that we're starting for students. We call it Project Achieve, and it's really our fast track for people that want to move into a paid employment position at a quicker pace. Again, we have hubs in Buffalo, Hamburg, and Williamsville, and we work on a lot of resume building, interview skills, volunteering, and we have a very minimal amount of classroom-based learning. This is just some of the work that we've done in the past. Pathway to Employment, this is another employment program that's a bit quicker paced. It's only a year long, and this is really specific and individualized. We have some individuals that have interest in a specific job set or specific skill, and they really want to hone in on that in a smaller group. So this is something that we offer as well. We have some individuals that are placed at different kitchens and other places that we're able to get them into to work on some of these skills. Supported employment is our last employment service, and we have this through a variety of paths. We have Access VR services, we have OPWDD services, we have the employment training program, but we also have some of our own micro businesses. So we have a janitorial and a landscaping business. We do have individuals that work in that, and they earn nearly $20 depending, $20 per hour, depending on the location that they're at. But they do need to have quite a level of independence and skill set. We have a few more pictures here. We have some individuals that work at Wegmans, so we have job coaches that work with them, checking in with them and their employer, making sure that they're learning their job and assisting if they're having any difficulties at work. We have some individuals that work at salons in the community. We have cleaners as well. So for referrals, at this point, we do have a central intake and admissions department. The care coordinator can submit the referral for any and all programs directly to our intake department. And the intake department can work with the family to schedule tours. We're hoping to get some virtual tours up and running in the very near future. We do have vacancies in all of our programs, but like I said, we are kind of on hold right now with the COVID situation. Feel free, if you have any questions, to reach out directly to our intake department. The phone number and email are right there, as well as the website if you want to view a little bit more information on the agency. Does anybody have any questions? I'll check the chat box here. Doesn't look like it. Thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Renee Zimmerman from People Inc.
Hi, everyone. My name is Renee. I'm here on behalf of both day and vocational services here at People Inc. Much like the information Tanya presented to Open, we offer pretty much every type of programming you could want, from day programs geared to our most involved individuals, including a program that's specialized for those who may have some intense medical needs. We have a program geared towards those who may have some more intensive behavior needs that maybe they couldn't be supported in more traditional community-based settings. We have some site-based day hubs located all the way throughout Western New York, ranging from all the way down in Dunkirk area, all the way as far north as Niagara Falls. So we pretty much cover the whole geographic spectrum. We have some specialty programs. Probably one you're most familiar with are college-based transition programs. Those are located at Damon, UB, Canisius, ECC, and then we also have an off-site program in Lockport, and that's really geared for those folks who, know they want to work, want to get a job, but also want that experience that maybe some of their siblings had or aren't quite ready for full unemployment. Maybe they need a little bit of work brushing up on their soft skills, their interview skills. And so we've had great success. One unique thing about our community Prevoc programs or the YALT programs is that we have a direct partnership with our supported employment department. So in their last year of our program, they actually are enrolled in a version of the employment training program where they are placed at 2 different businesses, and they have the support of a job coach, and they can actually earn a wage and work and gain that experience. And that's been super helpful for our folks to help with that transition, where maybe in high school they did a little bit of work, but maybe there was some oversight with like either a teacher or an aide or something like that. And then they progress through us where they can go out and we can begin that fading process to where they're going to the work site independently. And it's really been a good assessment for those who are on the border, where the families are like, maybe my son or daughter could work, but maybe not. We're not quite sure. It kind of gives that safe space where they can kind of explore things, be with their friends, participate in campus activities, and then also gain that work piece. That program requires folks to be pretty independent, as we are located in the community. So we do ask that, people be able to conduct themselves appropriately, not that there isn't always staff there, but they might not be in the immediate vicinity. Being able to use the restroom independently. We don't do any sort of medication administration, that type of thing. And then if some kids leave high school and they know that they're just ready to work, they, don't want anything to do with the program. And so we have a variety of supported employment programs as well. And then for those that maybe are on the fence, maybe you need a little bit more support and you're saying, well, not ever, but, my son or daughter needs supervision and maybe some minimal assistance. We have a variety of Day Hub Without Walls programs where they work in small groups in the community, but there's a little bit more support. And then, maybe partnering with, Pathways to Employment or the employment training program when someone's ready. So pretty much we have a variety of options from those who are most involved and need total care up to those who just want to work. And the good thing is that people are able to fluidly move throughout the programs. So I always say you're not, parents are always like, well, worried I don't want to, underestimate their abilities, but, they're young. And I always say that, there's not a rush. You have your whole life to work. So sometimes it's nice to take a step back and do some career exploration, continue those independent skills, and then transition to employment. But just because with any agency that you choose, just because maybe you start in a day hab program doesn't mean that you can't, progress across the spectrum. We've had a lot of folks who come to us not sure, and then they, end up, 5 years later, I see them working at Wegmans. So it's been a great program. Specifically, I see some questions about the YELP program specifically. Those are housed on college campuses. So it's a lot of small group instruction with staff. And then each college is kind of different with what they can partake in. Some schools have the ability to take classes. Some are more geared towards just the social experience, where they're maybe partaking in activities in the student union and socializing, and then maybe receiving that instruction from one of our staff members. All of our programs are currently closed due to COVID. However, I will include my information in the chat box if you want to know specifically about that program. Otherwise, on the information I provided, we have a central intake department, and like every other agency, we are hoping to get up and running with virtual tours somewhat soon. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me, or Tanya can help you get in contact with me.
Thank you, Renee. And I just want to remind everyone in the chat box, you can private message one of the panelists. All you need to do is go to where it says to, click on the box and find their name. And next, if we could have Jenna from Aspire.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jenna Astridge, and I'm with Aspire of Western New York. And I'm very glad to see everybody here tonight. Just like a lot of the other agencies, we provide a lot of these different services that have been spoken about. Aspire does have locations all across Western New York, and we offer services in both Erie County as well as Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County. So we do have a location in the southern tier. So as far as adult services go, a lot of what you've already heard, but we offer day habilitation services, and we offer both certified site-based services, which basically you're in a site and you're working on skills within the site. There's no community time. There's some community activities and outings, but they are based in buildings. We have locations across Western New York. And those actually, as others have said, are currently closed. We are taking referrals, and I will, the resources that were provided, the resource book, our information is in there, our central intake, but I will provide, as was done, my information and our intake email and phone number, so that if there are questions about specific services or referrals process, we can answer those questions. So we do have the certified site-based programs. We also have non-certified without walls day programs. One of them is called Supported Volunteering and Lifestyle Enrichment. This is a completely community-based program where they're out in groups with staff working on life skills, volunteering. It's a wonderful program, and we have groups across Western New York doing that. We have a technology program. It's called Technology Today, and we have 2 of those. One is based in Tonawanda, and that's more of a site-based program. And then we have one that's located in Buffalo, and that's more of a without walls community-based program. And the We also have it's called Aspire Co-op, and that is combined with an iExpress art program, and that's located in Buffalo. And that's an inclusive program. They work on arts, cooking, all kinds of community-based skills, volunteering, all those different types of skills. So those are our day programs. Also within our day programs, they offer adaptive technology services for people who are participating in those programs. We also have a lot of community-based services. I'll just talk briefly about our vocational services. A lot of what's already been described. All of our vocational services start with a referral to Access VR, and that is one thing that we highly recommend while you're working on the transition process to start talking about with your transition team, because the referral to Access VR can be done before you come into adult services, and it puts you ahead of the game. So we have the community pre-vocational service. Ours is called ADAPT, which is adult development and professional training. That's kind of the basic building skills, building social skills, building work skills, resume building, all those different all those different skills that may be needed to build when it comes to vocational supports. Then we have, as was mentioned, Pathway to Employment and the Employment Training Program. We participate in both of those programs, as well as Supported Employment, which is kind of your final, working with a job coach, having a job, and you're still kind of working on job readiness in the community. But those are Supported Employment, are paid experiences. So we offer all those, and what's nice about those is because we offer the different levels is you work with your job coach and you can build up. You can come in, start at community pre-voc, build some skills, and then make your way towards supported employment. We also offer Community Hab, which is skill-based training and respite services. We have 4 different types of respite: in-home respite, after-school respite, Saturday respite program, and a freestanding respite program, which is a site-based program. That the site-based program is also currently closed, but all of the other ones are taking referrals. Those would be referrals by your care coordinator, so they would be the one you would want to get in touch with to make that referral. We also offer self-directed services, and that is a fairly new program in the last decade or so that offers some flexibility when someone is interested in doing something a little bit off the cuff or has specific interests. And you get a budget from OPWDD, and then we kind of put it together to help the individual get to where they want to be. It's a very cool program. And if people have questions about self-directed services, please reach out to us. We have a wonderful team in our self-directed department. Let's see, a couple of unique services at Aspire. We offer environmental modifications and adaptive technology. This is modifications to your home, to your car, to your vehicle that help an individual to be more independent. And you work with your care coordinator and our techs in our environmental modification department, and they work to get ramps, lifts, grab bars, all kinds of different things. There's a lot of different projects that we work on in terms of that. So that's a unique service that we offer. In our vocational department, we also offer benefits advisement, which is a specific service. And, if you have questions about how your benefits will change as you move into adult services or even vocational services, we can help with that as well. And we also we have a full service healthcare clinic that's located in Cheektowaga. They have primary care, podiatry, and we also have an Article 16 clinic that offers PT and speech services and all of these things can be referred to through our intake department. So I will when I'm done here, I will put that information in the chat box. It was also provided with the resources, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. I think that's it. Unless anybody has questions.
Hey, Jenna.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. And if you put your info in the chat box,
Thank
people
you.
directly reach out to you. Up next as we have Marie from the Cataletian Center. I just want to apologize. I know we said this was 6:30 to 7:30. We understand if you can't stick around, it is being recorded. But if you would like to bear with us, we still have quite a few agencies and organizations that would talk a little bit about what they have to offer. So Marie, if you are ready.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Marie Sutton. I am the coordinator of the Habilitation Services at the Cataletian Center. I know that transition is a very exciting time for you and your adult children. And at the Cataletian Center, we offer several programs for adults transitioning out of school. All our programs require OPWDD approval. And that would be working with a care coordinator from either Prime Care or Person-Centered Services. And I won't go into details because I know that was already mentioned for you. At Cataletian, we have a community pre-vote program known as CPV. Our program is located at the Tri-Main Center at 2495 Main Street in Buffalo. So it's an integrated community program. The individuals, they attend the site, work alongside other people, and they work alongside other businesses. This program prepares them for possible community employment. At this job, they are paid piece rate, but they do receive a paycheck weekly. Transportation is provided, but it is encouraged that they become more independent and eventually either ride the transit or take paratransit. And they are given the supports and skills necessary to
Maria, we lost you.
I'm not sure where she went.
Yeah.
All right, we will make contact with Marie, but let's move forward. And could we have Juice from New York Connects?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Tanya, for the opportunity, and Williamsville School District for allowing me to talk about New York Connects. Ordinarily, New York Connects is known historically to be addressing the elder population, but within the past 5 to 7 years, it has changed to address all individuals from birth to end of journey level. So I always say 100. Who are either disabled and or in the elderly population. One of the things I want you to know is the role of New York Connects in the system. So what we provide is information and resources. We don't really do services for your family, but we will link you to the services. So it's person-centered. So that means you identify what your needs are and you figure out what's the best path. Sometimes we're assisting people with finances, right? Because between the ages of 17 and 3/4 to the 18, sometimes there's a social security application that has to change, and there's paperwork that we can help you and link you to benefits advisors. Sometimes we help with housing options. Sometimes there's legal pieces too. The luxury that we have is that we have the freedom to keep it confidential and individualized. So if you were to say, and oftentimes I say to many of the families that I work with, you have to think of the whole picture, the comprehension of the picture. Right now, the agencies that are represented in this meeting are phenomenal. They offer some of the best services and supports for all our youth and adults. And one of the things that's difficult sometimes is negotiating the transition for when a parent ages and how you plan for that. And so sometimes I'm getting conversations, and they're pretty intimate conversations because they're heart-wrenching, about really what do we do? Who's going to be the legal guardian? Who's going to be the payee? Where is my child going to end up? And I always say to families, make a concurrent plan, right? So right now we're working on, what do we do after graduation? Are we going to go into Prevoc? Are we going to go into some level of college? What are our plans and the options are based on what the ability of the youth and adults are, right? So what we say is short term, address this time, but as you get settled in and a process starts developing, right, that you call and you honestly keep talking to your care coordinators, to your family, to peers, right? So the parent network has meetings of families that you sit and you talk about what did you do, and everybody's willing to help everyone in the community. So I don't want you to feel alone. And one of the things that happens is sometimes it's isolating. And what I would like you to know is that it doesn't have to be. New York Connects is available. We can cover every topic. We're trained in all the systems. So we can help with mental health services, substance abuse services, as much as the basic needs, right? So if you needed a food pantry, if you needed a daycare because your youth has a child, right? There are so many pieces in a person's life. And one of the things we really want you to know is our resource is to get you the information so that you can make the right choices for your family. The other piece is we're able, even though the pandemic right now kind of restricts us from coming to your home, but we're available. We're working remotely. We're available to talk to on the phone. There's no problem with setting up a go-to meeting. There's any way that we can assist you in this process, we would love the opportunity. We cover the county of Erie County, and we are partnered with the Office of Aging, so they also assist in transition for adults. So I just want for you to have the information that all people, so, and I also would like to say, not only the student, but I also would like to say to the guardians, to the parents, to the grandparents, to all the family members that are in need of support too. Please find us. We will help you get resources from anything from support groups to figuring out how to negotiate your self-directed dollars, how do you advocate. Just be certain that if you need us, we have the answer. And if we don't, we will find it. So I want you, I'm not certain what questions are coming in because I'm talking, but if I will be posting my information so you can email or call me at any time, and I will be honored to help you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And as you were stating, if anyone has any questions, they can send them to you in the chat box. All right, up next, Taryn.
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I am going to share my screen. Is everyone able to see it? Okay. My name's Taryn Wild. I work at OLV Human Services, formerly Baker Victory Services. The program I work in is the WAY program, an acronym for Work Appreciation for Youth. However, when we started our program, we worked only with students. We now work with all ages, students all the way up through retirement. My contact info is here. This is not progressing. It's thinking. There we go. So we work cooperatively with a number of different agencies such as OPWDD, Office of Mental Health, Erie County, and also Access VR, New York State Ed. So if you have a service coordinator through OPWDD or a VRC through Access VR or a care coordinator, we'll be able to assist you. Okay, And this is a list of the Access VR services we provide. I did see a question come up earlier in regards to assistance with secondary education. We are able to assist with that need. We provide vocational and educational supports through Access VR, as well as work tryouts and assessments, work readiness. And then we also do provide some youth programming as well. OPWDD services we provide are Pathway to Employment, which really has been explained already. Student ETP, which is ETP for youth still in high school. Also the ETP program for adults, and traditional supported employment. Through home and community-based services through OMH Office of Mental Health, we also provide youth pre-vocational services and also a huge array of adult services, not only related to employment and education, but also peer supports and habilitation, psychosocial rehabilitation. We do provide some youth services through Erie County, which are wraparound and through juvenile justice. And Voc Rehab will look different for everybody. We pride ourselves in taking a very person-centered approach to our supported employment services. For Chris, that looked like, for him, it was helping him to develop skills to retain his job, advocacy for more hours, time management, independent travel to and from work, how to spend his paycheck, how to save his paycheck, and building supports with friends and family. For Jen, that looked like listening to her goals and helping her find a job that she wanted, not what other people thought she wanted. Advancement in her career, budgeting her income, time management, work-life balance, self-advocacy, and helping her build her support network. For Brandon, Voc Rehab looked like supporting his entrepreneurship goals along with seeking and maintaining community employment, encouraging his independence at work, helping him manage his time, self-advocacy, and helping him build his support. For Jacob, Voc Rehab looked like supporting his vocational goals, seeking and maintaining community employment, supporting his goal of advancing within his job, encouraging independence at work, time management, self-advocacy, and helping him build friendships at work. And for Mina, supported employment or Voc Rehab looked like supporting her career goals, helping her enroll in college, supporting her goal of advancing in her career, getting her driver's license, time management, self-advocacy, and helping her build her support network. Are there any questions at this time? Okay, if you do have any questions, feel free to send me a message through the chat box, or here's also my contact information. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
Thank you, Taryn. And contact information is also on the resource list. So we do appreciate those that can to bear with us. We do have a few more organizations. Up next, if we could have Ann and Sam from the Center for Self-Advocacy.
Hello. My name is Samuel Maxwell. I'm only going to stay on for a minute, and then I'll have Ann continue with the presentation. I am the Executive Director of Center for Self-Advocacy. I am a person with a developmental disability. I have cerebral palsy and epilepsy, and I also have a master's degree in public administration. So I have the knowledge and have the experience now of being executive director and helping people with developmental disabilities for the past 6 years gain independence or interdependence and Ann will share more on the programs that we have.
Thanks, Sam. Now I'm going to attempt to share my screen. I made a really short PowerPoint, which is kind of good right now because I think a lot of people are going, I have so much information in my mind, I have no idea. So the Center for Self-Advocacy is a grassroots 501c3 organization that has been around, and I lost my share screen, that has been around since 2013. It's located in Buffalo, New York. I've lost my screen share. There it is. It's located in Buffalo, New York. What do we do? Who are we? We are a peer-led 501c3 self-advocacy agency. You know, life is about speaking up for yourself and knowing how to do it, when to do it, how best to do it. Not just at work, but at home, at the community, anywhere you go in your world. Our peer-led staff have been there where you have been. They know firsthand what it's like to live with a disability. They know what it's like when you speak up for yourself, what it's like when you don't speak up for yourself. I would say that in this case, my little quote would be that experience is your greatest teacher. Okay, we serve both adolescents and adults. What do we do? Here are some of the things that our group does. We help people grow their self-advocacy skills. We provide a safe space for people to learn and grow. We provide peer mentoring through what we call our peer empowerment network. We have video chat support groups. We're Zooming twice a week with people with developmental disabilities that are living either on their own in group homes with their families, anywhere and everywhere. This was necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic, but it seems to be a really good way of connecting people who may not have the access to get where they need to go to hang out with people and share issues. We also provide training and support to use public transportation using either in-person or virtual experiences to do that. We have a contract with New York State Department of Education, Access VR, to work with people that are in transition looking for jobs to be able to learn how to get there on their own. Those need to be referred by the VRC. However, if you guys as families or individuals or service providers have an individual that you know of that could use that, and you have a VRC, a vocational rehabilitation counselor, please make sure that the VRC is aware that this is something that would be appropriate. A new thing that we have is that we're providing peer counseling services. We will be having our Listen to Me program starting probably within the next several weeks. This was again in response to COVID-19. We are not funded by OPWDD. You do not need to have the home and community-based services waiver in order to participate. You either need to have OPWDD eligibility, or we will also work with you while you're in process of getting eligibility. We are a member of the Developmental Disabilities Alliance of Western New York, and we sit on both the transportation and family committees. Where are we located? Right now, we're home. But our office is at 2529 Delaware Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14216. I've listed our website here, http://centerforsa.org. We also have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page, and we're becoming more active on social media so that people are aware of what we do, what our services are. Our website will show you information on COVID-19 resources, for example. We have our mission and vision. We have information about our peer staff. We need to, I guess, make people understand that we are here and that we provide an unusual niche need that we don't see otherwise. We see this is an organization for people with disabilities, run by people with disabilities. And that's all I'm going to say because we've been on for like 10 hours.
Thank you so much, Ann. Next, we have Dan from Sea Hope.
Hi, Tanya, thank you. And thank you to Parent Network and to Williamsville Schools for hosting tonight. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can share my screen. And here we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Everyone can see that okay? Tanya, can you see my screen?
Yep, it just popped up.
Great. Okay. All righty. So, Sea Hope. We are also a 501c3. We have a variety of sponsors that sponsor our organization. I'll get into what we do in a moment, and that being one of them. Sea Hope, we started out about 5-6 years ago, a group of parents that had kids graduating from Williamsville South. They're all graduating around the same time within a couple of years. And the concern was, of course, what happens to our kids after they leave high school. And so that's when we put Sea Hope together. Our target audience we work with are young adults over 18, transitioning from high school or recently left, with developmental and/or intellectual disabilities, or with challenging life circumstances. So the way our programs are set up, they are open to everyone. We actually have had people with like a traumatic brain injury, some other type of challenge. But our primary audience is people with developmental intellectual disabilities, but all are welcome. Our programs can be written into a habilitation plan. Most of our parents most of our families that are in the program use self-directed budgets, and they also optionally can submit the program costs to OPWDD for family reimbursement. As far as our programs, our longest running program is the Afternoon Club. It typically has been running Monday afternoons. We run several programs throughout the year, a 20-week, a 30-week program. Typically, it's 3 hours at the end of the day where we have very structured programs. We have a lot of people that help us develop curricula that is going to be working with folks to teach them new skills. All of our programs have one-to-one participant to volunteer. So every one of our participants has at least one volunteer. We're also launching a 2-year program in soft skills and vocational exploration, the purpose of which is to give people skills to work in the hospitality, food and beverage industries and related industries. And we also are arranging with employers to do internships as the program progresses. And I've worked through this here. Community engagement is a big thing for us. We do a lot of special events, everything from farmers markets to, Christmas gift wrap, whatever. A lot of different programs that get our participants out in public and working with the public, whether it's selling stuff, meeting with people, talking about what they do. Most of our volunteers are graduate students in either speech learning, pathology, OT, all the different major specialties that address, the population that we serve. We're getting flexible now with the Afternoon Club because, with the pandemic, we're doing more virtual stuff. We do Zoom meetings every week, give people projects, mail stuff, drop stuff off, developing hybrid programs that are kind of, allow us to keep moving forward even with the restrictions associated with COVID. And so we're developing these virtual and hybrid programs to replace until we can actually be face-to-face with people again. Here's our contact information. I will also put it into the chat box. I encourage you to visit our website. We have openings in our programs, and as they open up again in the fall or in the winter, depending on what happens, would be happy to talk to anybody about what we do and how we might work with your family member. And that's it, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. So up next, if we could have Wendy from Summit Educational.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I'm Wendy Laverme. I'm the Director of Community and Adult Services at the Summit Center. And I just wanted to talk to you about some of our programs that we have. We are accepting enrollment in all of our programs. We have a new website that we just put out. So if you want to, there is going to be an attachment that has our website attached and our contact information. If you want to check out our website, you can get a lot more detail on our programs and a little bit about the eligibility process for those programs. Some of the things we provide is a Day Have Without Walls program. We call it STEPS. It's called Success Through Engagement and Positive Supports. We have 3 different locations across Western New York that we run out of community partner locations, and we go out into the community. Currently at this time, we're on hold and we're doing something virtual while we're going through this pandemic, but you know, we're coming up with work plans and looking into hopefully getting back in a little bit of a different way, but getting back to more normal service. We transport for our day habilitation program, you know, or parents may drop off if they're interested in doing that. Then the next program is our community Prevoc program, which is called PACE, Prevocational and Community Experience. Right now, we have one that is, we're running it virtually. We were running that at the UB Dining and Shops. And since the pandemic, we've had to put that on hold. But like I said, we're running virtually and doing virtual training, Prevocational. We're looking to hopefully start actually a secondary program at Buffalo State. So as soon as things start to open up, we're looking at that. And then we're looking also at another location at our agency that we can kind of do in between until we get back. Schools are taking people back on their campuses. And we currently are taking enrollment for that as well. And then our employment services, we are funded through Access VR. So we take Access VR referrals. We do youth work readiness programs. So high school to adult, and then job placement. So we do all sorts of Access VR services, and they're listed on our website. We also provide OPWDD supported employment. We provide OPWDD employee training program. And we also have a contract with the Commission for the Blind for job placement and supported employment through them. And another program that we are actually part of a collaboration, if you have a son or daughter who is going into their senior year of high school, it is called Project Search, and it is an internship program that runs in collaboration out of Beechwood Homes in Gettsville, and it's a collaboration with Aspire, our host business, Beechwood, Summit, and then the educational portion is run by Erie One BOCES. That is a program that runs September to June, and they actually work right in a nursing home setting at Beechwood Homes. Currently, that also, you know, with everything that's going on, is being finished virtually, and then we're actually looking at a temporary location until things start running a little bit normal with that. So those are pretty much all of our young adult and employment programs. If you guys have any questions, you know, please put them in the chat box. I'm looking and I'm not seeing any right now, but also all my contact information is on the website, and feel free to contact us regarding enrollment and things like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wendy. And our last presenter for the evening, if we could have Cheryl from Community Services for Everyone.
Yes, hi. So yes, my name is Cheryl and I am from Community Services. I am actually the community-based program coordinator. I oversee all of our Day Have Without Walls, as well as our contract programs, which includes our family support services in home, our Fill in the Gap transportation, as well as our family reimbursement program. So community services, we offer various services, but today I'm going to focus on the services I feel that students transitioning out of school can really truly benefit from. The first service I'm going to discuss is our Pathway to Employment. Our Pathway to Employment is the person-centered employment planning and support service that provides assistance for individuals to obtain, maintain, or advance in competitive employment or self-employment. Pathway to Employment also provides instruction and training and job readiness skills and develops a plan for achieving competitive integrated employment at or above the New York State minimum wage. We also have our community prevocational services. Community prevocational services address the individual's vocational interests. The program assists individuals who are interested in joining the world of work, but whose skills are such that may not expect to attain competitive employment within the next year. We also have XSVR. XSVR Intensive Services, which provides vocational counseling and rehabilitation service that results in successful employment outcomes for individuals with developmental disabilities and their employers. We also have XSVR Youth Employment Services, our YES program, which includes a range of service to assist youth with their transition to the world of work. YES is delivered with a focus on the unique concerns and issues of youth and are related to preparing for employment, developing employment-related soft skills, and obtaining work experiences. We also have XSVR Extended Services. This program provides follow-along SIMP services to employ individuals who are not Medicaid eligible. Each agency that provides XSVR services are awarded a certain number of placements for these individuals. I also want to talk about our self-directed services. Through our self-directed service, you are able to make important decisions about your staff and your services. You have the choice of choosing people to help you develop a plan, hiring staff to support your needs, choosing where you wish to live, choosing work you want to do, and choosing how you participate in the community, choosing who you want to spend time with, and controlling your own budget. Next, I want to talk about our respite services. Our respite services actually operates after school, and that's our after school program, and it's for school-age children with developmental disabilities and operates Monday through Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. at various locations. We also provide Saturday respite for children age 5 and older. Saturday respite operates on designated Saturdays between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And we also offer our children's overnight respite in our town of Tonawanda. Next is our community-based day habilitation program. Our community-based day habilitation program operates during the day between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. This group actually operates in small groups, and they really focus on community inclusion as well as community integration. They do a lot of volunteer experiences as well. They volunteer at Friends of the Night as well as Salvation Army. They do Meals on Wheels and etc. We also really focus on person-centered services, really focus on what the person's true goals are, and really help them to not only make friendships, but teach people how to maintain on friendship as well. We also have our supplemental group Day Have program, and this program is a larger group and it runs evenings and weekends. It really focuses a lot on social capital. They do a lot of recreation activities on a routine basis, which range from going to the movies, self-advocacy groups, they have bowling leagues. The group come together at the end of the month and they really have conversations and create a calendar based on what they want to do. And, you know, it's really focused on their hopes, dreams, and desires. Next is our Certified Day program. Our Certified Day program, we have actually 3 locations. It is site-based. We have one in the South Towns, one of our Buffalo locations, and one of our North Tonawanda locations. Our day habilitation service can assist individuals to acquire, retain, or improve their self-help, socialization, and adaptive skills, including communication, travel, and other areas in adult education. Activities and environments are designed to really foster the development of skills and appropriate behavior, greater independence, community inclusion, relationship building, self-advocacy, and informed choices. Last but not least, I really want to focus on our community habilitation program. This program assists individuals who are working on goals to build independent living skills in the following area: personal hygiene, self-care, general household chores, mobility training, personal health care, financial management, appropriate social skills, and just overall life safety skills. Weekly schedules are established by the person and what they want their schedules to be. We really focus on allowing the team members, are building up our team members so they are really educating the people that we're providing services to and really reminding them that they're in charge. It's all about them. They're controlling what they want to do, and we're just here to support them in every step of the way. If you have any questions for me, you can definitely leave it in the chat box. And I will also be leaving my information in the chat box as well. I'm sorry if I was a little long-winded, but I was trying to just get everything in. So thank you, Tanya, and everyone for giving me the opportunity to be able to educate everyone on the various services that we offer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. Thanks for hanging on. I know that this went longer than everyone expected. So this is the last of the organizations that are presenting tonight. I believe the link to the resource list has been placed in the chat box once again, in case you haven't had a chance to download it. This will be up on the Parent Network website on our online learning section. I will try to see if we can connect the link when we send out the survey and along with the PowerPoint. I'm just not sure how much we can attach to that, but you should have a multitude of people to contact to help you get connected to the supports and services you have. So we'll hang out just for a couple more minutes in case there's any last minute questions or chat boxes. But other than that, thank you for giving us more time than we requested. And hopefully you got some information that you can use down the road in your planning. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Cheryl. You're still on. I'll text you. Bye-bye. And you still look surprised. Bye.
Okay.
Hey, Tanya. Just thank you. Thank you. It was great. I appreciate the efforts, and it was very informative and hopefully worthwhile for folks. We'll call it the inaugural virtual agency fair, and we'll see if that sticks, right, for an annual piece. But thank you.
Thank you, John.
You are very welcome. Thanks for the opportunity. I think this is the first time I've done something in this format, so we definitely learned some ways to make it a little smoother and obviously make it longer.
Yeah, no, but worthwhile. I mean, what, 45 participants roughly, right?
Yep.
That's great. Like, geez, I mean, think about it. You know, we just started blasting this out the last 2 weeks and we still had 45 people. So thank you to all who participated. It was great. Yeah. Really great stuff.
And I think the recording, I think people will access the recording also, so.
Sure. Yep. All right, good stuff. Be